Win FM reserves the right to disconnect any caller who infringes the law or offends the right of any person. The station will also refuse to take any call from any person who, in Win FM's considered opinion, is likely to expose the station to liability for statements made on the air.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Guys, it is a start of a new week. It's Monday, October 24th. October is fastly approaching its end. And, yeah, easy, sir.
Wow.
Easy, so time no... Anyway, but you're here with your faves, me, Azem. And, of course, sitting right next to me is none other than the lovely Jade, Gwenny, Edita, CPL, Matter, Stewart, Tusha, and Johnson. Sipping on some scissor.
No, I'm not.
This is a jiggy shaba.
Where would you say that?
That's not vodka in your bottle?
No, it's too early.
Oh.
That usually happens after 10.
Oh.
Fear. Oh, no.
But Jade, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm awake.
That's good. That's good.
It is important.
Oh my gosh, Jade.
What?
You just trigger me. But anyway, let's continue down this road of pleasantries and happiness.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, how was your weekend, friend?
It was cool. Friday I went to watch the DFX launch.
Bam.
It was amazing. I've been watching launches all weekend.
Okay.
Y'all on point.
Yeah?
Yeah, bye. Them girls gonna look hot December, like ridiculously hot as in. Ridiculously hot. I'm so proud of everybody who has launched a mass band for December. Y'all are doing well. Keep it up. This is what we like to see when it comes to carnival. Innovation and, keeping up with the times. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so so of course DFX was on Friday. Who else launched?
Lux was on Saturday and Naughty Mass was yesterday. So we had a weekend filled with launches. And Ashley launched last week?
Last week, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So that's 4 bands at least that have launched, right?
Yeah, and I saw a flyer for another one who was supposed to launch on this Friday. How much on this year? We got 25?
May know how much. Come like is a good amount. Let's
Yeah,
go
man.
with good amount. Well, and you're saying everybody looking good.
Yeah,
and
man.
Okay. People have options. Okay.
Yeah, they definitely do. And then yesterday I went to Boozy Brunch. Had some sushi.
How was that, Jade? Okay.
Listen.
Say this.
That was a time. Big up to Taro and Kotai for the amazing entertainment. Big up to Karambola for the good food, the good drinks, the good experience. You know, some adult fun.
Yeah, people seem to be having a grand old time.
As they should.
Yeah. And like I was saying on Friday, I do believe this is something that people have been waiting for some time, right? To see the return of Boozy Brunch. So I expected energy to be.
Yeah, it was there. Granted, the trick is with them shots. Listen, I never see so much shots in my life as them. There was on a mission.
With the shots?
Yes. All type of flavors, consistencies. Listen. Good
Something
job.
for everybody.
Good job.
And everybody for everything. But
Love that. So Beno's already winning. As if I can do cold.
I try to help you out, friend. Man, I understand what going on though. Yeah, Jed is cold, guys. The AC in the room that we're sitting in is on full blast. And somebody decided it would be best
To hide the remote.
to hide the remote.
Why would they do that, man?
I don't know. My weekend was cool too.
I mean, I may see you, but...
Well, not at... Well, you only would have seen me at DFX. And then...
Make all kind of promises. Oh, yeah, you could see me, I got come. Come with. Such a man. Always want promising things that don't deliver.
Yeah.
I know. I've met y'all.
But no, but Jade, you know, like, I is a homebody.
Yeah, that's why when you said it, I didn't believe you.
I is a homebody, Jade.
Like, yes, you made him a message to ask where you be for what? I already know where you were.
As a homebody, Jade. I tell you already, you know, like, for me, I go to these things a lot of time. I be on fact-finding missions.
Fact-finding mission.
Yeah, like when I go to these events, it's generally a fact-finding mission, right? Because that ain't the environment that play nice with my personality. That's why it is, Jade.
Yeah, you want.
I don't dance.
You want to have fruitful conversations.
Right, exactly. So you had to have fruitful conversations when the music loud and everybody inebriated.
Yes, that's not what we're here for.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. So like it's difficult.
Understandable.
Because if I was a dancer, like I used to like walk up and so, but me not walk up is.
No, I never say walk up yet.
Exactly.
I would actually be floored if I ever. Wait, which one are you drug me friend? Cause
Yeah, if you
say
see
normal.
if you see that happening, Jade, you probably need to
Carry to jail.
come rescue me.
Yeah.
Come rescue me. Say one eye try to take for my friend.
Yeah, why not? That's why, you know. Who slips up and he drink?
Yeah, somebody trying to take over my friend. Yeah, so generally when I either go to support, to offer support to whoever is putting on the event, or like I said, it's fact finding mission.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. But I'm happy to see that so many people had a great time. Yeah, it seemed as though the general reviews were good vibes all over. Yeah, and I haven't heard much in the way of bad news or anything on the weekend, and so I'm hoping.
That's true. That's
Yes, I'm hoping that everyone was safe for the most part. I did get some bad news this morning,
Oh man.
but I mean, even know if I want to go down the road there this morning. We already in a good mood.
I mean, there's still time to change that, but you know.
Yeah, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
Whatever it is.
I feel like I feel like it's becoming a thing now. It almost feels like, oh yeah, I'm JNF strikes again. You know that kind of way?
Yes.
Yeah, you know that kind of energy, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, but it really starting to feel like a thing. And not really starting, like it has been a thing.
What's that starting?
Yeah, it has been a thing for quite some time now,
Yeah.
and this isn't even a suggestion that there's some malpractice or mistake that was made or anything. The problem is that it's difficult when families don't get the answers that they need to provide some clarity or closure, especially in cases when there's loss of a loved one.
Oh Lord.
Right? And the question becomes, who does one go to? Who do you talk to? Where do you go? Where do you go when you don't understand, when you don't have any answers? When there's a belief that all the doctors hold one head and them kind of things, go to which medical board? No, they protect each other. Like these are the prevailing views that exist. So I mean, too many times people suspect some type of negligence. So many times they might even know that negligence happened due to some doctor or some nurse or someone telling them, look, I can tell her I don't tell nobody is me say. But this wasn't right, and I'm sorry what would have happened to your loved one. Even if it don't result in death, you know? And then it's just like you just got to eat that. Even if you get that information, you just got to eat it, because there's no recourse.
No, you can't do anything.
And unfortunately, in situations like that, like those things are bound to keep happening. So it's frustrating,
It's a scary place.
and it's sad. And that's the thing. Like that's supposed to be the place where you go for help, not the place where people who need help be afraid to go.
Listen, JNF is a scary place.
And the truth, if that's what we have, that's what we have. But at the same time, like we should be constantly working to make it better. And if those things are constantly happening, then we should at least, the general public should be able to see these efforts that are being made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I remember one time my friend told me that there's a budget that goes into the hospital whole health budget, but the problem is that sometimes when funds are allocated, it feels like they can't really pinpoint where the funds going. And I'm like, but that can't make sense. It's a hospital. There's supposed to be a paper trail of the fixes, the improvements, what needs to be upgraded. These type of things, I'm confused. I'm confused, but man, hopefully we see some changes, some promises that has been made. Hopefully they are kept. We could finally get a proper facility. We won't have to have people feel like Azim feels constantly, because it's not only you alone. It's so many people that go to our hospital. Literally every week it feels like if I scroll Facebook, I'll find a post that is about JNF and some type of wrongdoing or ill treatment or whatever the case may be. And it shouldn't be.
Yeah, the argument I've been making, though, Jade, is one of, a lot of times when I hear about what is needed and what should happen and things, a lot of it centers around the need for new equipment, need for improvement of the infrastructure, fixes, the bathrooming on the toilet paper, the roof leaking, like them kind of things. And all those things are mold. All those things are important, right? Rusty this and rusty that up there and thing. Okay. But for me, there seems to be a deeper issue, and an issue that a fresh paint, a fresh coat of paint can't fix, and that has to do with management. Yeah, that has to do with management of the facility, right? And I don't know what the constraints are. There's certain constraints that make it difficult for the powers that be to operate in a certain type of way. I don't know if it's political. I don't know what it is, but it does seem as though there's some issues with management, and I don't know if I don't know, like I said, if a fresh coat of paint could fix that problem, or perhaps even if we do get some of these improvements that we're talking about, if it's gonna just somehow get better. I don't believe it. So I think we need to look into, the management and thing. I was going to tell us leave it open.
Yeah, man. My nose doesn't start so, and I can't do it.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back on good vibes.
Well, I don't have.
Oh no. Let's go light this morning with tea time.
So let's start with Parliament, because I know people been.
My name's I remember I used to got thing in Parliament by me.
People used to actually go to the government work and make decisions.
The Honourable House and
yeah. There was a time when they used to go.
Nah, man, they're well within the rights, man. 90 days ain't gone yet.
No, not the fresh one, not the fresh one.
No, I mean, but it's just been a while. It's been a while since we've had Parliament.
Yeah, definitely. So a new session of Parliament to be open, new speaker to be elected. I thought I already did that.
No.
Oh.
Who you suggested? Who you think it's gonna be? I have.
Well, I don't know. You give me yours. Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Prime Minister kind of hinted that it was gonna be a woman.
Finally. We ever had a?
Yeah, we've had. Have we? I want to believe so.
I don't remember.
We've had women clerks. I think we've had women deputy speakers.
But actual speaker?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't remember. Well, a new session of Parliament will open.
No, I don't think so, actually.
Okay, so it's time.
I don't get in. I don't.
I know.
I don't subscribe to that. But
that is you business.
No, I think, but to me, I think it undermines. The achievement of the woman of the person in question.
If they just getting it because there's a woman.
Not if they're just getting it because my suggestion is they're not getting it simply because they're a woman.
Yeah, but maybe that's not the reason. I don't think that would be the reason.
Right. So if that's not the reason, then why we suggest it's time for a woman or no, it's time for whoever is the best person to get the position.
Oh, I think it's because women has statistically not been in a lot of these positions.
Yeah, but I also believe statistically a lot of women don't really want those positions.
They tell you that?
Yes.
Oh, well. Well then.
Just like a lot of men don't want them either, but I suspect that there's probably more men that do.
Okay.
Somebody saying Marcella Libert was once a speaker. Okay. Right. Yeah, that's what I was suggesting.
Okay. There we go. Well.
Yeah. Thank you for that, guys.
Yes, indeed. Well, a new session of Parliament will open on Tuesday, October 25th, which is tomorrow, at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort Ballroom in Frigate Bay. The leader of His Majesty's loyal opposition will be Premier of Nevis, Mark Brantley. That's the full name? Well, you got to be His Majesty. What?
Right. Actually, people them just run around with a mace, wear wigs, all kind of things are going in there.
Yeah. One time we dig up one,
And big?
Yeah, over at Delhi Warwin.
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
Wow.
It's an ancient wig. This was under the foundation.
Wow. Right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's now on display if y'all want to see it. Just go down to Fairview and it is literally on display.
What? Yo, the things are used to gone in town, right?
If I was going to get taken over by a spirit, right? It would have been in that moment. Because why are you walking up and down with the wig?
You was the one walking up and down with the wig? But I
wasn't thinking it through at the time. Man. I was just excited to see it, forgetting that over there kind of haunted, man.
Bye. But
That's the hill I'm willing to die on, That delay while
oh
this
yeah,
content
yeah.
playing
Come on,
there.
a lot of these places in town, Jade.
Yeah, man.
A lot of these places in town. The ancestors ain't resting easy. The ancestors ain't resting easy, Jade. I'm
They
telling
are
you.
not.
They'll tell you, The ancestors will tell you, like I'm telling you, Jade. Some of these places in town, you go down in the cellar, or the downstairs basement, or the place in the bottom of the building that nobody does go.
Listen, anywhere with them little grates that you could see
Right.
from
yeah,
outside
yeah,
on the
yeah,
road.
yeah, yeah. We know went
Haunted.
on. We know went on in there. The ancestors ain't love it, Jade.
I have a hot take. I know we're talking about Parliament, but I just wanted to push this in here.
Yeah, a little tangent.
Yeah, I really hate that we just take tourists around the square and show them where they used to sell us,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it. Well, y'all keep telling them where they used to sell us.
That's an interesting take.
But anyway, historical sites, they are thing.
Now, sometimes I believe we need to remind them though.
That remember y'all used to sell us here?
Yeah. The problem I have though is that a lot of times the dynamic between the tourist and the tourist workers, I don't like the dynamic. So I don't mind you saying like, hey, here's the square, one of the main green areas in town, and this is why it is, and this is why it's to happen here. It is now called this. But when it's done in this kind of like, there's a the dynamic sometimes does feel a bit subservient, not necessarily servitude, because nothing wrong with servitude, but it's almost subservience, and that does make me very uncomfortable.
I think that's the feeling that.
Yeah. It does get.
Y'all sound a little so happy to tell these people that they used to sell us in
Yeah.
here. This ain't
The
really the happiest.
Yeah, the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dynamic is what has put me off too.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when I go to the hotels and I see how,
The plantation way.
the whole setup, and not only that, Jade, like, and I don't think it's anything even conscious, but the way they deal with us, ain't the way they just deal with the whites.
No.
They don't deal with us the same way.
No.
There's a certain level of when you go to a place that has good service, whether like a hotel or whatever, what I get is a certain level of pleasantness and welcoming and let's just say willingness to serve, right? Which I appreciate. And that's places that have good service, right? What I observe when they're dealing with the whites ain't necessarily that. There's a different energy, Jade.
Yeah.
There's a different energy. I don't know if it's built into our subconscious. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's in the handbook. I don't think it's in the handbook.
It says be extra pleasant over here and just do your best over here.
But I don't even know if it's. That's my thing. I don't think it's a matter of pleasantness. I just think it's there's almost like this power dynamic that exists that makes it very uncomfortable for me to observe. There's one particular, I'll just say, hotel that I actually don't work at anymore. Even if I get called to go work there, I don't go. Because, the energy does be so weird. Like, the way that, like, one time I had to, like, when I lose it, I just lose it.
Yep.
And I lose it. And one of the people over there, like, just talking to my co-workers, like, I was like, what you think this is? I said, girl, watch you. I born here, I plan to bury here, yeah. Me and if you could say the same. If you want us to go down this road here, like.
Listen,
like,
black that you're going on, and I don't think you want to do it.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But
So,
anyway,
yeah.
Parliament, Norwich.
More remnants of colonialism.
Of
Go ahead.
course. Of course, Fred.
Boy, my lord, let's go.
Yes.
My lady.
According to a statement from the government, the opening session will be preceded by a guard of honor, which will take place at 9:30 a.m. in the Grand Plaza. In accordance with Section 46(1) of the Constitution of St. Christopher Nevis, the proclamation summoning the new session of the National Assembly will be read. Following the proclamation, a new Speaker of the House will be elected and subsequently a Deputy Speaker. The Speaker of the National Assembly is elected by the members. As the presiding officer, he/she decides all questions of procedure maintains order with complete impartiality and protects the privilege of freedom of speech by ensuring that all members are given a fair opportunity to express their views within the rules. The newly selected speaker will give the announcement, which will be followed by the sworn speech by the Governor General's deputy, Her Excellency Marcelo Alfio Liberd Esquire Jep. What Jep you mean? Okay. The first meeting of the National Assembly will be held on Thursday.
Just stop the piece? I don't know. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, I think it's that, you know. You might be correct. The first meeting of the National Assembly will be held on Thursday, October 27th at 10 a.m. at the National Assembly Chamber, Government Headquarters, Bastille. The last time a parliamentary... Hey, I love a woman that just... The last time a parliamentary sitting was held was during the 5-day annual financial statement and budgetary proposals for 2020 in December 2021. From December until the dissolution of Parliament on May 10, 2022, no Parliament sitting was held as tensions grew within the ranks of the previous administration. Just in case y'all forget.
No, but that's what I'm telling you. It has been a while, Jane.
Indeed.
It has been a while. We're actually going into another budget season. I suspect in most of the departments and the ministries are already starting to get their budgets together for approval.
And actually work with the ministers because, you know, last time it felt like they didn't know what was happening. Because they said they didn't know what was happening. And I'm like, I feel like your job, there is a description in there where you should be the person to know what's happening when it comes to budget as a minister. But maybe that's just me.
Well, I guess maybe they just were saying they didn't know about other ministries because I don't even know. The whole idea that I didn't know, that was kind of strange to me.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
decisions were being made unilaterally. But then it was very, because, okay, for instance, let's look at budget, right? You have the directors, let's go in the departments. The directors, they get whatever put together, programs, expenses, such and such and such. Present that to the PS. The PS, I would suspect, would have that discussion with the minister, right?
Because I thought that's how it worked.
And then that would have to go to the cabinet secretary. Cabinet secretary bring that to the cabinet, put that on the agenda for the cabinet. I don't know. Yeah, you'll have to see. Hey, we saw some people trying to call in. Feel free to call back. We're reading the article at the time, but if you have any contribution to make, please feel free to hit us up.
And please, guys, I know I keep telling you this, but stay on topic. I know y'all always have things to talk about, other things. That is for Thursday. I'll put it on the live. But don't hear us talking about something and then call in to change the subject. Kind of rude. Kind of rude.
Yeah.
When the money is given to the ministry, who signs off when anything is being paid?
Well, I don't think it's a matter that the budget get passed and then the money goes to the ministry. Like to say the ministry have like a bank account, you know what I mean? That this money goes into. And so even when things are, even though money has been budgeted to the ministry, when the disbursement is requested, there's still some checks and balances. There should be some checks and balances at that point. But good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning, Azim and Jade. How are you all doing this morning? Y'all co-host calling. But listen, I just want to let you all know that there's quite traffic situation on East Bass there. I don't know if you all mentioned that already, but it seems you can't go up the Bay Road between Saul and the Craft House area, that sort of thing. So it's causing quite a drama on this side as I try to head to the beach. I'm all caught up. So just thought I'd tell you that.
Appreciate it.
On another note, I don't know if she did just say changing topic, but I am on her topic in that she brought up about the tour that is given by the taxi drivers and tour guides that as they go around the square. And I was just on Socrates Voices last week, Friday, and I spoke to something. I spoke about the fact that too many of our tours highlight the European rather than, valiant resistance by our ancestors, right?
Right.
Including the fact that as you go around the square, while it is historically correct that you could talk about the fact that initially, yes, there were the selling of our ancestors, there is also the fact that there was a Sunday market where the enslaved were able to sell their produce. They had, they were able to begin making money, right? Which would have aided them if, after the abolition of slavery. I don't know how we're going to work stories like that. I don't know if they say it. We are not on the tour, but she's right. A lot of what you hear is, the stories of slavery, slaves, blah, blah, blah. We are not hearing enough about the resistance. We are not hearing enough about how they empowered themselves and that sort of thing. So when we talk about the ancestors not resting, it is because we are telling their story in a way that does not give them power. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Totally
it is
agree.
time for us to change the lingo, change the way in which we speak about our ancestors, because they did a lot. As I said, there were many, many ways in which they resisted. I mean, I was reading a book that's written by a Dominican friend of mine, and in that book, I learned a story of a man who was a maroon in Dominica. When they found him, they sent him to St. Kitts. And very soon after he got here, he did some big escapes and did all sorts of stuff, right? And eventually he was eventually killed. But, you can see that what you see in those stories is the fact that our ancestors did not take this thing lightly. They did not just bow their heads and say, this is it, right? So I think we need, but it seems like we want to walk on, like we're walking on eggs, around our visitors. So we don't want to make them
We don't want to offend them or make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, but the Jews, the
Yeah.
Jews tell you the story as it is. You understand what I'm saying? The Jews tell you the story as it is. There's no sugarcoating what happened at Ostrich. So why do we want to sugarcoat and only tell stories of, those who were the colonizers? From the time you leave Fort Zante, it's colonial stories. Buckley and all of those things. It's like, so when are we going to try and research some stories, enough stories of our resistance is my thing, right? So I try my best as a tour guide on the train to bring those stories that I have learned over the years to the fore as much as possible. I tell the story of sugar, and I try to make it as realistic, I say the truth about it. And have had people tell me things like, apologize on behalf of their country. I speak to the fact that this is why we seek reparations. You understand? So when you hear the talk of reparations, it is because after the abolition of slavery, we left with nothing. We were left with nothing. We had to pay taxes. We had, so it is for us to know our history and to speak the truth as to what happened and not make the colonials look like they were the best thing since sliced bread.
Or before sliced bread.
Huh?
Or before sliced bread.
Yeah. Okay, so it's important. So I like that Jade mentioned that. I don't know how it came up in her brain cells this morning, but I decided to call in to comment on that. Thank you, Jade.
No
Appreciate
problem at
it.
all.
All righty. Take care. Have a nice day.
Yeah, at the risk of sounding like an old Rastaman, I guess we need to stop telling his story and tell our story, right?
Yeah,
and so the way that we frame the information a lot of times it not only highlights but it reinforces this dynamic of us being downtrodden, oppressed, and so it's like you're reinforcing a story of oppression to our oppressors, which is weird in itself.
Yeah.
Right? Like understanding that one, the stories of the island don't start with slavery. That's one.
Exactly.
And it doesn't end with slavery. So why so much of the conversation with people that come and visit surround slavery? So
so weird to tell you listening these stories.
Yeah. But anyway, good.
Break time,
guys. We're gonna take a short break and be right back with more Island Tea right here with Media SKN. Stick and stay, guys.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
If you say you love your little dear country, try to do something positively. Be a watchdog for the environment. Don't leave everything to the government. We dump our garbage anywhere, lit on the streets everywhere. Our behavior is telling me that we really don't care. Take some pride in your country. Volunteer to clean where it's dirty. Tourism development needs a healthy environment. Whenever we litter, we threaten our survival. So those who engage in it should be treated like criminals. So don't be afraid at all if they call you an informer. Report those who endanger our future. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate driving, this nonsense need to stop. Stop. I'm making it my business to alert all motorists, especially those who love to break traffic laws. I have seen what speed can do. Here I am to your rescue to help you to live. Just take this advice I give. I warn all drivers to take care of your passengers. Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. How much more tragedy we have to endure to face the reality. Less is safer than more. I'm begging all my friends. Be careful on the road. Slow it down. Hey. Roger. Watch out for them donkeys.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Win Media SKN. And it's Monday, so we actually are going to jump into traffic talk with our friends from the traffic department. This morning we have with us Sergeant Harris, Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
A pleasant good morning, and good morning to everyone. I'm Sergeant Harris from Traffic Department.
Well, Sergeant Harris, it's a pleasure to have you in. How you doing though? You good? You behave yourself on the weekend or?
Yes, I did.
But Jade, we know better. We know the answer. Oh man, but yeah, you were here last week and we spoke a bit about Tintin. What is it that you would love for us to discuss this morning?
This morning we're going to touch on speeding at this forum.
All right, nice. So are you saying speed is good? That's
No,
it.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
No.
No.
But yeah, so let's jump into it. Speeding.
Yes. Good morning again, everyone. As I said, the topic today is speeding. As if persons living in the countryside or even just traveling in the countryside, they will observe a number of signs mounted in specific areas. And these signs are speeding signs. You will see 20 miles or 40 miles per hour. For certain places, like in school zones, you will always see 20 miles. So, well, I'm here today to request of drivers to adhere to all signs that is mounted up in the area where they pass. Speeding is in danger for all of us. Anybody uses roads, speeding is very dangerous. It costs us our life. And remember, we don't have a spare. Vehicle have spare wheels. Human don't have a spare life.
Good point.
So, we asking drivers to adhere to the speeding. And I also asking passengers to be more outspoken when you're traveling within a vehicle that is speeding.
Oh yeah, I don't play with that. I don't play that. Jade, if I drive in and you're driving if you're driving fast and two you're driving reckless, are you saying something here?
No, put me on the side of the road.
Even if it's that. Yeah, I think I'll take it here, brother.
Yes. So we're asking people, especially people in passengers bus as well. Once you told the driver to slow down and he refuses to slow down, ask him to stop and you jump out and you catch a next bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the unfortunate part about that, particularly in buses, I've been in buses where it seems as though there are some passengers that do the exact opposite, that seem to encourage fast driving, and like you're saying, speed is one thing, but then to have it be encouraged, I said, people, it's one thing if you want in the vehicle, but when you got other people's life in your hands, yeah, that's a height of recklessness there to be speeding.
Most times it's the person who is in the vehicle with you who gets the worst.
Yeah. We've seen that too many times.
Yep.
Seen that too many times.
Thank you.
And that's a fact. But let's just say encourage passengers to talk up, tell the drivers them to slow down. As I said earlier, most of the time the passengers are the ones that get serious injury and drivers come out the vehicle scratch free. So passengers, we're asking you all to speak up, and don't show your life recklessly. A speeding ticket, the minimum for speeding ticket is $250.
That's a lot of money, by.
Some people keep noise. Some people, even when you're doing operation, if you can't charge 100 or 150, but the law set it as 250, so the police cannot drop it below that.
Right. Officer, we actually have someone trying to join the conversation. Good morning, caller. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning, sir. I wonder if I could raise another issue, please.
Sure.
Hi, thank you. About 3 years ago, I would have visited the traffic department at St. Johnson's Village to conduct some business. And while I was there, my attention was drawn to a bicycle that was inside the building that was retrofitted to use a small engine. And I was really fascinated by it because it had so much detail and effort was made to solve each of the problems that would arise by retrofitting such a bicycle. And at the same time, Inspector Keynes came out of his office and I asked him, Mr. Keynes, why is this bike here? And he said that it was impounded because it was against the law to have a motorized bicycle. I said, Mr. Keynes, look at this. The kind of craftsmanship that went into this. This is stifling creativity among our young people. And I believe your responsibility as the head of the traffic really should be to make regulations to facilitate this kind of creativity, rather than stifling it and saying that, well, the law doesn't allow for it. You being the one in charge of this department should be the one putting forward guidelines so that persons engaging in this kind of positive activity could do so in a safe way and in guidelines with the law and what is stipulated. Interestingly enough, some time ago, I think it's 2011, I had the opportunity to go to Japan on a training course. And one of the things that I was doing was visiting schools, junior schools, children 12 to 15, 16. And one of the things that I noticed that they were doing there is that all of the schools had a program where they were taking bicycles and cutting them up into pieces and making a small vehicle. Some of them had 4 wheels, some of them had 3 wheels, and they had a small engine. And there was a competition among schools where they would see who could make the vehicle that could travel the farthest on 1 gallon of gas. Some of them were trying to see there was a part of the competition where it would be who could go the fastest and that kind of thing. And these are 12 to 14, 15-year-olds we're talking about. That was their job within their school. And every school had such a program. Every school I went to had the same program because there was a national competition among them. That fostered the kind of creativity among their young people that would facilitate their automotive industry. This thing that these young people are doing here, who knows, this could blossom into an industry for them, which is positive activity. It could turn into they could now create their own motorcycle company, custom-made motorcycles. These are billion-dollar industry, and it starts somewhere. And so yesterday, I happened to be on the Philippi Road, and I saw 5 of these bicycles young teenagers had done themselves, and they were moving in a group, one behind the other, and showing off their talent. And I would not want to see the traffic department confiscating these youngsters' bikes because they are not proactive enough to put something in place in order to facilitate them in a positive way. You know how many skills they would have learned just to do that? I saw these kits on Amazon where these young people probably would have gotten these kits and did it from scratch, building these bicycles right up to where they are able to function in a proper way. And so I would not want to see the traffic department going and shutting down these youngsters and taking their bike and confiscating it, not having come up with a plan to safely facilitate them, because we don't know what this thing would blossom into. Every youngster involved in this, I'm sure, is less time for them to engage in illegal activities, smoking marijuana, doing whatever, all the things that we consider vices, and develop the camaraderie within them. So I would want to know what has the traffic done so far between 3 years ago when I saw that bike inside the traffic department locked away to now, if anything has been done to facilitate this kind of creativity and industry among our young people. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. My 2 cents on this is that, as I say, spoke to Inspector Keynes. Inspector Keynes was correct. And your comment is very, very good as well. But we should understand the police are the enforcers of laws and they don't make laws. However, yes, we could advise and so forth to see what law need to be amended under the Traffic Act. But it is a good thing when we promote young people or individuals to expand their minds. However, as you said, the bike is an engine, work with engine that propel it to move at a great speed. If the individual go on the ball field or so forth and use that bike in the proper way, there shouldn't be no issue. But when you reach on the island main road and using it in an improper way, just remember the road is for the safety of every individual. As we say, it move at a great speed. Let's say those said bike running into a child crossing the road. That said bike is not insured, is not licensed. Who will cover that cost? What we're saying, when there is engine and such vehicle, it should be licensed and insured. But as I say, I'm with it where we try to expand on the young people in mind and knowledge. So these people could be somewhere up into the community, even help out the federation. But let's do it the right way. As you spoke about that, many have called already saying that those said bikes must be up and down at night without lights flying through, causing vehicle to pull off the road. But as I said, they need to do it the right way, the correct way. If the individual them on ball field enjoying himself, I don't see an issue with it. But when you come on the island main road, that's where the problem is. That's it from me.
All right, thanks, Carlo, for your contribution. All right, so you're talking about speeding. One of the suggestions that we've had here on this show several times, and since we're talking about speeding, I thought I'd raise it again, would have been the displaying of the speed limits. One of the things that has been recognized is a lot of times we drive vehicles that the speed diameters are in kilometers as opposed to miles per hour, right? And so there's a discrepancy between what is displayed and what's on your thing. So the suggestion has been to have the speed limit signs display both miles per hour and the relevant kilometers per hour to help people whose speedometers actually display their speed in a particular unit. So I just thought I'd bring that up. That's something that I think could be considered. This come up a few times. So.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. When I reach back to traffic department, I will suggest that. But that's is a great idea. But for people driving in KM, there is a way. There is a way you could know the 20 miles per hour. For example, if you're moving at 80 km, you divide it by 4. And what amount you get by that, you divide it by 2, and the amount you get by that, you add it together, and that will be miles per hour.
Officer, let's be a little realistic. Who do you know have the time or the memory to remember that at the time?
I know, but it just...
It would be easier if y'all just put the signs.
I will start out the sign, but as I say, just to clarify for the drivers, but as I reach back at base, I will bring that forward, and as I say, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. So we have 20 miles to put underneath the speed, so everybody could aware.
Yeah, and not only that too. The people then don't have much of an excuse in terms of, not knowing exactly how fast they were going in relation to how fast they should have been going. And once the signs are correctly displayed, has there been, to your knowledge, any discussion of making adjustments to the speed limit in any particular area?
At this moment, no. What have come forth is that speed bumps will be placed in specific areas. For example, near school zones and so forth, where there is a number of children always being passing back and forth. They're suggesting speed bump can go in that area to slow the vehicle. And not those speed bumps that you fly and you bang bang, something that you drive right over, so that you slow down the vehicle right down and things.
Okay. Yeah, I think the school zones is something that I have, and I've brought it up with your colleagues who have been on the show as well. The school zones are something that I think really need to be looked at. It does seem as though the school zones that are most policed, or let's say even most visibly marked and highlighted, seem to be the ones where not only there aren't children going to that school, but also they don't tend to look like us. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but so, and I keep making the argument for one that is in my particular area, the Connery deck here. I think that's a bit of a dangerous, because it's a bit of a straight, and people sometimes pick up speed coming along the main road there in Connery. So I would love if something were to be done to help to ensure the safety of the teachers and the children that go to these schools, especially those on the main road. I think that's a big issue. I see the speedometers, but it seems as, like I said, it seems as though the speedometers at the schools where it's all big people going, and they don't really, something they look a little different. Me sure it is, but something look a little different about them when I go to them school there. So hoping that that's something that comes on stream sooner rather than later.
And that's the reason why we advise police officers, when they're doing their vehicle checkpoint with speeding, must go in the area where the schools are, so that it could alert the drivers that coming around that area should be at a minimum speed.
Right.
But as I say, going forward, speed bumps and so forth will come forward.
I'm happy to hear that's a consideration. But also, we have someone trying to get in, so we could probably take this last call. Good morning, caller. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Talking about signage, I just thought I would raise a concern that's been, troubling for some time now. There's some side streets that they are one ways. and they don't have any signage at all to say no entry or one way. One came to mind is Prickly Alley. Especially now we have, a number of new residents here. They tend to drive up or drive ways on no entry sign. But the signage has been displaced for several years. I would ask that the traffic department look at these signage, on here in McKnight area where you have one way. And people driving up and down. You have sometimes two cars, one coming up, one coming down, and hey, who's going to reverse? And it's very troubling, especially, sometimes they park in the alley and all that kind of stuff. It makes it very, very, troubling. And I thought I should bring this to your attention. I raised it before in the sense of having the proper signage, saying no entry, so they will see there's no entry. And this is not being done. This sign is being removed for several years. So I'll just like to bring this to attention to the officer.
Thanks for the location, caller. I will get that look into as urgent as possible. Thanks for the location. However, traffic is in the process of putting down signage in and around the Bar State area. As I said, drivers, please adhere to all signs. When you see signs, please read and understand. Because when you receive a ticket and there's a sign, the excuse you just give, I don't know, will work once there's a sign. So please adhere to the signage. Thanks for calling.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution. All right, time is fast spent, so I'm sure you may have a few final words for the listeners and the viewers.
As I say, speeding kills. So passengers, talk out. Don't show your life. The next topic for next week, we'll talk about seat belts. I know many people have questions about seat belt and who's supposed to wear seat belt concerning children, and who's supposed to be in the child seat. Next week we'll touch on that. Thank you.
All right, guys. That was it for Traffic Talk. We're actually going to take a short break and be right back with more Island T right here on Win Media SKN. Guys, stick and stay. Don't go anywhere.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers. I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equaline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equaline brand of over-the-counter products. Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equaline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. It's still Monday, October 24th. And yeah, Jade.
Listen.
I just got to, sometimes I tell you already, you know, I had to big up the scammers here. I had to big up the scammers. When the scammers ain't hurting nobody, I bigging up the scammers them by. I just read something here that there's a guy. They're calling it stealing. I think that's a bit harsh.
I think so too.
I think that's a bit harsh. But they're saying that he stole 122 million from both Facebook and Google.
Must be nice.
But how does one steal from those types of entities, Jade? Apparently what this man actually did, this man just sent in some invoices and they paid the invoices. And now they've vexed the man.
I don't feel like that's stealing. That might be fraud, but stealing?
Fraud? How is like in fraud? It depends what was on the invoice.
Okay.
Perhaps I decided I was going to bill you for all the time you took from me as I use your services. And you decide to pay it.
Well,
about 122 mil. By this man, yo.
Either somebody wasn't doing the work or this man is the
No,
most
somebody.
elite scammer ever.
No, somebody was doing the work. That's what was going on. Somebody was doing that.
Okay, so you literally miss that you send this random person all this money.
No, what happened, Jade, is that them man got so much invoices and they're paying so much money that they can't keep up. They can't keep up. This man about 122 mil.
Small.
And then
First of all, it's Facebook and Google, so that's
okay.
like that's chump change.
No, but think about it, Jade. He probably going to a posh upscale prison, right? Hopefully this ain't a federal charge. And he got, I think it's like 5 years plus 2 years supervision, right? I think there's some people who.
Huh? Sorry.
There's a.
What's happening on the live? I guess locked up in this country. That is a setup right there.
Even though this man may feel like the 5 years was enough, I ain't looking to go. I don't even want to spend one day.
Neither me.
I don't want to spend one day behind bars, so yeah. Whatever being said on the live, let's tell you.
Listen, they ain't built the fresh prison yet, you know. I refuse to be locked up in the HMP accommodations. Can't do it.
Bye.
So, the man said that way. Whole type that with the whole chest to it. Oh my God, what is wrong with y'all?
Bye. But yeah, there's a lot going on, in the scamming world. Yeah. Yeah, because the scammers, them y'all keep your head above ground and arms outside of cells, please.
You know, sound advice. Sound advice right there.
But where we going next, Jade? It's a good Monday morning.
Let's talk about something that just been in the ear. Out there.
What's been going on?
Something close to home for you.
Something close to home for me?
Hold on, let me put on my shoe. Yeah. Let's talk about why National Bank has all of these things happening.
Oh, man.
All these rumors circulating.
That's pretty close to home for you, bye.
Yeah, man. pretty close. Same last name, everything.
But imagine that.
Any relative of?
Might be.
Might be.
You never know.
Yeah. Tall man. You tall?
Kind of.
Yeah. You're not tall. I'm just checking. So it says, Dr. Analdo Bailey, I am still here. I did not know he was a doctor.
That sounds familiar. Like that name sounds familiar, bye.
Well-dressed man right there. Let me watch the shoes. So, Dr. Analdo Bailey remains the managing director of the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Limited. Dr. Bailey dismissed the reports in an interview with WinFM on Friday, October 21st, 2022. He said, I am still in the bank. When asked, were you asked to resign? He said, I am still here and no one has said differently to me. WinFM understands that it was suggested to Dr. Bailey that he should tender his resignation, but was not officially written to by upper management to resign his position. This comes on the heels of reports making the rounds on social media suggesting that Dr. Bailey had resigned as the bank's managing director. So, you know what I realize? A lot of people don't know how boards work, nor do they know how contracts work. From just reading stuff on social media about this and other things that are similar, y'all don't understand how a lot of things work. You can't just because you feel like somebody should do something means that that's how it should go. No. People have contracts. Everybody isn't government appointed. Everybody didn't get a job under the administration because the administration picked them. Some people actually had to apply, get contracts, get hired, and that is why they have the jobs they have. I don't understand why this concept is so hard for y'all to catch. It's embarrassing us. Like going on Facebook, embarrassing us every single week.
Well, obviously, me ain't gonna say much on this because like, this is close to home, and one, like, you know, I just say all the time when I lack the ability to be objective or to even be perceived, to even be perceived as being objective, I just tell y'all straight up.
And it's one of them times.
Yeah, I mean, this is just, I mean, like I said, this is my dad, right? He been the subject of a lot of discussion recently.
Yeah, man.
And my position, and I dare say the position of most of the family at least is, just let things and play out. Things and play out as it will. Like, I personally mixing up. And the thing is, I don't even feel the need to come to any defense or whatever of any, like, actually, if it's my man, go handle himself, you see. So
I don't even feel like even if it wasn't him, I just feel like
the
way that things are playing out is what's bothering me because.
But that's kind of the issue, right? That is outside of the actual like thing. The way in which a lot of the discussion is being had, a lot of the way in which and one of the things that I recognize that happens a lot, right, is there's this thing where people speak very confidently about things they don't understand.
I don't know why it is so baffling.
And but at the same time, sometimes I recognize that people have their motives, right, and their motivations for why they operate the way they operate, and so me having not knowing exactly what these motivations are, you just got to watch and just wonder. So I just let things play out. Like I personally. Like I said, my position is things can play out how they play out.
Facts.
Right? You control what you can control. And things can sort out themselves. But I for one in going on a back and forth and blah blah blah, and I don't think that is I don't think is necessary. And to be honest, I think it's a waste of time. I think it's a waste of time. Like again, people have their motivations, so people will discuss. But the truth is, a lot of what is playing out speaks to some of the things that we've been saying since we started the show. Since we've been here, we talk about the way that politics influences everything.
Yeah.
The way that there seems to be a belief by people when it comes to placements, positions, them kind of things, and such, which don't necessarily always have to do with qualifications, boom, boom, boom. So I think all of these things are a part that's mixed up in what's going on now. And the truth is, we've been having several of these discussions about placements and positions and like a lot of that been going on lately as it happens every single time that there's a regime change.
I would
So
honestly
it
like to
happens all the
just
time.
be a fly in the wall in these meetings. Like when they're deciding who to put in which position, especially in these people not qualified, don't have the knowledge, don't have the experience to just be what people want them to be. I'm like, how do y'all pick these people?
No, perhaps they're qualified, but we just don't have a correct understanding of what the prerequisites are. We have a different understanding of what the prerequisites are.
So we know that's not the truth all the time.
No,
we
but
know that there's people that has been in positions
understand what I'm saying?
Oh no, clearly not, because
You understand what I'm saying? Perhaps there's just a situation where we have one idea of what qualifies somebody, and other people have different ideas of what qualifies somebody. That's all.
I get you now.
Yeah.
I get you now.
So maybe they overqualified or not.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the work ain't got to get done. At the end of the day, the work ain't got to get done.
And that is it. A lot of us forget that when we put these people in positions, they actually have to do work. They have to meet the mandates. So if they could do it or not, it's going to come to light.
But we've spoken about this for maybe here for like 2 years now. So
Yeah,
we've been
man.
talking about this for like 2 years. The fact that there's going to have to be, and again, if anybody who is familiar with this particular situation recognize that we've kind of segued from.
You know what you're talking about?
Yeah, because this
Activating
really doesn't apply there. But
what's that?
to avoid the thing is to avoid some of these situations, right?
Yeah.
Me, you know.
You know what I mean?
But to avoid some of these situations, it's kind of like there needs to be we need to address the actual process, and so we could see exactly what happens, why it happens, such and such and such, and the expectations are there prior to any changes that might come. JD, can I ask a question now? Yes. All right. But yeah, personally, I ain't got much to say. Obviously, I ain't bringing that thing on the radio. So, for those who are looking for a big comment, but yeah. You don't gotta wait long. You don't have to wait long. But while let's actually take a quick break. What time it is? Yeah, we're gonna take a short break, guys, where we sort some things out here in the studio. Stay locked, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Island Tea. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Magnum. Take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge, take. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Here a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah, yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Energize your goals with Lucozade. Get it good. Look under the cap. Find the code. Win it. Thousands in prizes. iPhones and TVs. Or win 30 grand US dollars for your goals. That's goals.
For a chance to win 30,000 US dollars. Purchase any Lucozade Energy promo bottle. Look under the cap and find the code to win iPhones, TVs, and free Lucozade for 30,000 US dollars. to energize your goals. See website, social media, or press for details. Lucozade, taste the energy.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island T right here on Win Media SKN. Jade, we are fast approaching the end of the show.
Indeed.
Wow.
Just like that. Just like that.
Just like that.
9:30 already. What the hell?
But yeah, you got me wasting the time today.
No. Well, let's jump back into some tea.
Mm-hmm.
Because last week we spoke about how licensed firearm holders are not playing with you guys anymore.
Oh, bye.
And it happened again. It literally happened again. So y'all did not learn from the mistake of the person last week. So we're going to reiterate it, and hopefully this time it sticks. So it says 2 would-be robbers shot dead by licensed firearm holders in St. James.
Wow.
They double up this time. So 2 would-be robbers were first fatally shot by a licensed firearm holder in an attempted robbery on Greenwood Main Road in St. James on Saturday, October 22nd. The deceased men's identities have not been ascertained. Both men appear to be in their early 20s and are of dark complexion. Okay. One was dressed in a white long-sleeve shirt, short blue jeans, and a pair of black slippers. The other was dressed in a yellow shirt, short blue jeans, and a pair of black shoes. Reports from Montego Bay police are that about 10:15 p.m., the would-be robbers boarded a taxi at Bay West in Montego Bay, St. James. The taxi was headed to Falmouth, Trelawney, and had other passengers aboard. The 2 men requested a stop on the Greenwood Main Road, and one of them reportedly pulled a firearm and placed it to the driver's head. The licensed firearm holder, who was a passenger in the taxi, saw what was happening and challenged the man. A tussle ensued and the would-be robbers were both shot. They were later pronounced dead at the hospital. A Glock 19 pistol with a magazine containing 5 9mm rounds was seized at the scene. The licensed firearm holder is cooperating with detectives as they probe the incident.
People, leave people with their things.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Leave people with their things, man. You know how ridiculous it is to throw away your life trying to take from somebody what is theirs.
Yeah. Now you want a t-shirt with the wings behind you, all because you feel like you should be Robin Hood. Leave people things.
Leave people things alone. Leave people things alone. I understand.
I don't.
I understand. No, I understand the mentality sometimes that people have. Position, like, puts them in a position where they feel justified. Like, let me tell you something. Whatever you're telling yourself, wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Telling yourself, oh, they got insurance. Telling yourself, like, oh, they got a lot of money, they could get more.
They're rich, they could afford it.
They could afford it. All these lies that you tell yourself, they're just that. They're lies.
Mm-hmm.
And these delusions could sometimes have far-reaching and irreversible consequences.
Listen.
Leave people things.
Ooh. Oh, boy.
Like, I don't, like... It's one thing to do, like, these kind of institutional, like, theft and thing. But
white collar crime.
You go break into somebody's vehicle, or you go try go in somebody's house. Somebody walking, you decide you like the chain more than them. These kind of things here put you in a very precarious position, and people ain't out here playing because they recognize the threats. And so what they're doing is they're preparing themselves to deal with the threats.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the threats, you're gonna get dealt with. You're gonna get dealt with. Too many times we see in these situations where somebody decide to step out of pocket and get taught a valuable lesson.
Valuable. It's valuable.
Sometimes it's so valuable they could never spend it again.
Listen. Y'all gonna learn.
Leave people with the things. Man.
Y'all gonna learn. The hard way. But, y'all gonna learn nonetheless.
And that's like I said, Jade, it's the lies that they tell themselves. Yeah. The lies that they tell themselves.
Easy lick, okay.
They tell themselves this person, like I said, could afford it. Mm-hmm. This person ain't gonna miss it. Mm-hmm. They got a lot they could do without. And whatever. They even tell themselves that the reason that they have and I don't have is because of some systemic oppression that exists. Well, all of these, even if those things are true, you one, left them. Left them.
Simple maths,
But
simple maths. But,
eat less, drink less, by your own.
Let's jump over to something else that... Anyway, San Diego ER seeing up to 37 marijuana cases a day, mostly psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
Megan Scott knew something was going on with their son, Kyle, while during the pandemic, he began refusing to get out of bed to attend online classes. Up until then, Kyle had been like a dream son. Tall, good-looking, strong, athletic, and was... This here sound like a dating profile.
Mm-hmm.
That's setting up the son. With a great sense of humor.
Yeah, things take adapt to, no?
Yeah, man. He was such a good basketball player, and talent scouts were checking him out and had a decent chance of someday playing in the major league. He had the world by the balls. Wow. His dad said. At the family's request, the Post has used pseudonyms. Now Kyle was constantly irritable and depressed and wanted to drop out of his New Jersey high school. Then one night he lost it completely, fantasizing that his parents wanted to kill him. Zero touch with reality, Scott recalled. The family checked Kyle into a psychiatric facility where his delusions got worse. He thought his dad ran the mafia and put Joe Biden in office. He demanded that his parents give him $10 million. Listen.
That sounds like he just on the wrong website.
Yeah. Sound like one of them QAnon people, but Megan Scott was sure their son was messed up on some hardcore drugs, but when the institution ran a test, Kyle came up positive only for his prescribed attention deficit disorder medication and for THC. That is marijuana. Kyle now is in recovery, but his story that is becoming familiar to more and more American families. Someone begins showing classic signs of hardcore drug addiction. Eventually, they suffer a full psychotic break, but the only drug history is for cannabis. Now we are counting 37 cannabis-related diagnoses a day. Dr. Ronit Lev, an addiction medicine doctor at Scripps Mercy Hospital in San Diego, said about her emergency department. It's been steadily increasing over the years. When I started in the 1990s, there was no such thing. I see 1 to 2 cases per shift. The most common symptom is psychosis. Y'all all doing the weed. Basically what they're saying. Y'all smoking too much.
Let me tell you something, Jade. Anything done too much gonna have like negative effects.
Yeah.
The thing about it too, I think one of the things that persons are now starting to recognize is one, everything ain't for everybody in the same ways. Everything ain't for everybody in the same ways. That's one. Two, there's a lot. You see, when I start talking about young people, let's say young people, children, who the others what they show them, and I would just say the frontal lobe hasn't developed yet. So you start talking about young people whose frontal lobes have not been developed. then yeah, the effects of certain things are a thing. But I think one of the more interesting issues is the fact that we have been ever chasing more and more potent strains.
Yes.
The loud might be a little too loud.
Just
Yeah, the loud might be a little too loud for some of these people, Jade.
yeah, man.
And
They need bushweed, but they're smoking loud. No, you can't do that.
like, if we're gonna make an argument, right? If we're going to make an argument that this thing is something that was put here by the creator, it's not, and it's not something that is medically altered. But then we take that
it.
and then go and alter it and do all these types of crossbreeds. I don't even know whatever the herbalists them doing right now, but whatever they're coming up with, it's different, Jane.
Too much.
It's different.
Too
different.
much as them.
And then on top of that, now they're mixing the synthetics with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're mixing the synthetics with it, and then they're getting these results that really and truly
could kill you.
Ain't good for nobody.
Yeah, like last week I was reading a story about a mom who was arrested because her 4-year-old died from ingesting a large amount of edibles. But it wasn't just edibles, it was literally synthetic.
Yeah, synthetics. Yeah, that's what it is.
But y'all is be putting in y'all bodies, man. And even them people who just addicted to vaping, like addicted to vaping as y'all know the effects of these things long term. Y'all gonna die. Y'all going to die. I mean, we all gonna die, yeah? But you might die quicker than me. Based on the fact that y'all just inhaling these things daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I think people really gonna need to be mindful of what it is, like you said, they're putting in their bodies, how they're putting it in their bodies and these type of things. And be aware that what might work for Peter might not work for Paul. Right? So there needs to be some responsibility on the part of people when it comes to their own health and what they consume and what they put in the body. And I don't know if that is really happening. A lot of times right now it's just a desire to what? I don't even know what it is. Explore? Like, I don't know what it is to be going on with some of these people.
Yeah.
Like, and everything can be overdone, Jade. And some people just overdoing.
And you can be addicted to weed, despite what people think, despite what people may think. Yeah, you could be addicted to anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, addiction is not limited to one thing or another, right? And by definition, addiction is not a good thing.
No.
Right? Even people who are addicted to work, if addiction is what it's defined as, then it's obviously an issue.
Yeah, you need to take a break. You need to sit down on a beach, touch some grass,
Bye.
hug a tree.
I'll get some help.
Go talk to the lady on the couch.
Yeah, go get some help.
Something.
And I think that even speaks to a wider topic of, hey, some of us feel like as though our addictions aren't something that we need to address because it doesn't seem to cause us to look like, behave like other people who might have other forms of addiction.
Yeah.
Now, if it's an addiction, then there's obviously negative impacts. As a matter of fact, by definition, that's what addiction is.
Yeah.
By definition.
Yeah.
So
guys, just be careful and take better care of yourselves. You only get one body. You don't respond. This is not a game. So do better. Anyway, let's go talk about the British.
Oh boy. All kind of things happening.
Yeah, man. So last night before I went to sleep, I saw that good old Boris, Big Boss Boris, dropped out of the Prime Minister's race. Sorry.
Yeah. He boss. He said, "Bye.
Yeah,
Y'all handle it. Y'all handle it.
Y'all do it. Yeah, it's either that I was like, Boris, no, not you again.
Not what I believe.
Yeah. So you think is he just decided he ain't doing it?
Nope. I believe. Remember he and Rishi had a whole long conversation, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I believe Rishi is the front runner.
Well, actually, that's what we're about to talk about.
All right, so let's talk about that, and then we could talk about some of the other things surrounding it.
So yes, Rishi Sunak wins race to become next UK PM. Already. So this was the third one in video.
As many ones.
Rishi Sunak wins the race to replace Liz Truss as Conservative Party leader and is set to become the next UK Prime Minister. Sole challenger Penny Mordaunt withdrew from the race after failing to secure enough support. Labour MP says Sunak has no mandate, no answers, and no ideas. What the hell?
Yeah, that's the other side, Jade. So they're obviously not
Why
gonna.
would you say that about the man? Yeah, you know the man. The man just said this man is not qualified for this job, and I don't know why y'all giving it to him. Opposition Labour Party MP Angela Rayner has questioned Sunak's appointment as the Conservative Party's new leader, saying he has no mandate, no answers, and no ideas, and calling for the public to have their say at a general election. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
The Tories have crowned Rishi Sunak without him saying a word about what he would do as PM. Rayner's Labour Party deputy leader tweeted, "He also has no mandate, no answers, and no ideas. Nobody voted for this. This public deserves their say on Britain's future through a general election. It's time for a fresh start with Labour." That sounds familiar. That line sounds so familiar. And the Conservative Party, of course, is calling on the party to unite behind Sunak. That's crazy to me to realize that people that just wake up and decide, you know what, he gonna be Prime Minister. Not the country, but some people who hold the most power in the country just decide, yeah, I feel like he can do it. So he can do it.
Well, Jade, that's how it happens in the system, Jade. It'll happen here too. We don't vote for Prime Minister here.
Oh no, we vote for.
We don't. That's what happened.
Yes,
That's
that is true. That is true.
Yeah. Who controls the majority of the support of the elected MPs?
Which is what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Some reason I thought for a second that we vote for prime ministers, but thank you for reminding me that that's not how it works here.
That's not how it works. Yeah.
I mean, it just feels so because.
I mean that I would suspect that does come into the decision making of the voters, who the leader of the party is and who they suspect is most likely to be prime minister, depending on who wins the majority.
Yeah, because most times you're hearing this person for PM, not necessarily this party for government, but this person for PM. So,
Yeah. But I think it's interesting because Mr. Sunak was actually a front runner, even after Boris. There was a lot of talk that he may have been the most qualified and the better choice, over Liz Truss.
So somebody now saying, "I told you so."
But the thing is, again, there might have been concerns about because of his ethnicity. He has Indian parents, I think. That there was a concern that he wouldn't be able to rally the support of the general public.
Oh, because that kind of racist up there for Joe. No, it's true. They're very.
So that may have played into the decision at the time. I do believe though that he has been put in a peculiar position. Because I think a lot of us, myself included, believe that they probably should go back to the polls.
They have tried it. It has failed. Let's let the people decide. The economy in shambles because last time y'all just decided to put somebody in power. In utter shambles. So just let the people decide. I feel like it's only fair. They are the people affected by these decisions anyway, obviously, as we saw from the last Prime Minister. They are the people most affected. So why don't you just let them have a voice? Anyway, yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I just don't come colonize us again because we don't want to go back.
At least if it's Rishi, I think Rishi in that energy there. Yeah. Me and he ain't really that cool, but I don't believe that's the energy.
I just guess that I friend now.
No, me and he ain't really that cool.
So like your partner, but
But I believe Boris probably get a nice little a nice little package.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like whatever them are negotiating for a long time, we're going to hear. Boris can just get a little position there. Nice up. Boris was chilling in the DR, you know. Had to bounce to Antigua.
I thought they say he was in
No, he was in the DR and then he had to fly to Antigua to catch the BA.
They stopped the man good vacation. With all your nonsense, boy, I question the economy.
No, but England, well, the UK does have some tough times ahead, I would say. They do.
Never thought y'all would be here. But when y'all was like the powerhouse of the world. Oh, how times have changed.
But I do believe though that there's always ups and downs, right?
They just never realized that they would be the ones down.
No, I think there's some people who would have known.
Really?
Yeah, of course,
Okay.
of course. Everything has its ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
right? The question is, how does one navigate those crests, whether you're up or you're down? How you navigate them?
I don't know how they just do it when they're down. Somebody got to go. Somebody got to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But I believe that there's going to be increasing pressure and calls for general election, and probably sooner rather than later. They might go down that road, because if Rishi don't do something that just...
Rishi got to do a power play in the first week he in office.
You mean today?
Wait until today, you got to do it as he reaching the doors.
Today? No, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because I do believe no matter who is in the position of Prime Minister, that the UK does have some trying times ahead.
Yeah. Well, speaking of power, China's Xi or Xi? What do you pronounce him?
Z? I think it's Z.
Z? Okay. China's Xi secures third term at stacks leadership team with allies. China's President Xi Jinping has secured a historic third term as the Communist Party's leader, cementing his place as the nation's most influential ruler since Mao Zedong. The Central Committee of the Chinese Communist Party elected Xi as its General Secretary for a president-breaking 5-year term on Sunday, tilting the country decisively back towards one-man rule after decades of power sharing among its elites. Xi is now all but certain to sail through its third term as China's president, due to be formally announced during the government's annual legislative sessions in March next year. The CCP also named a 7-member Politburo Standing Committee led by Xi in its inner circle of power dominated by the party's leaders' allies. Xi introduced the new lineup, walking at the head of the group as he led them onto stage in Beijing's Great Hall of the People to meet reporters. Shanghai Communist Party chief Li Qiang followed Xi, meaning that he is likely to succeed Li Keqiang as premier when the latter retires in March. The other members of China's top governing body are Zhao Leji and Wang Hening, who returned from the previous committee, and newcomers Tsai Qiu, Ding, I can't pronounce that, and Li Zi. I wish to thank the whole party sincerely for the trust you have placed in us, Xi said after his appointment, and promised to work diligently in the performance of our duties to prove worthy as a great trust of our party and our people.
Yeah, I don't think China was looking for a change right now. A lot going on with China right now. Navigating a lot. Yeah, somebody was saying so many countries have communism. I was trying to say, like, he comparing the Westminster system to communism. I disagree, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But China, who is unapologetically communist.
Unapologetically.
I mean, for me, right, a lot of these political systems, let me not say these, like, any one of them, it is to me most dependent on the nature, personality, character of the leadership, of the people involved, right? You look at a place like Singapore and look how that has how that country has developed and shifted under the leadership of pretty much one man, and basically he built the country in his vision, right? And so then you look at some of the biggest shining examples of democracy, and things ain't looking so jiggy right now. Things ain't looking so jiggy right now.
Things falling apart, but
there seems as though there's everywhere you look, there's some protest, there's some uprising, there's some change, there's some unrest. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of peace, and I don't think that it is. I don't think that any particular political system has the monopoly on
the world is shambles right now, man.
Yeah, we come here every day and we talk about what's going on here, what's going on there, what's going on in St. Kitts, what's going on in England, in USA, like India, Sri Lanka. Yeah. But the Sri Lanka one burning me now, because I really like Sri Lanka, man.
Sri Lanka.
I really like Sri Lanka.
You saw that they banned who was he? Who was he again? The ex-prime minister?
The president?
Yeah, they banned him. He can't run for election for the next 5 years. So what's happening? You just got to keep out. 5 years, you know? What he do again?
No, what happened was it was talking about gross mismanagement. Things had gotten so bad economically there that people just had enough, and of course there had been constant accusations of corruption, and so people went and stormed the man, the president. People in man gym and so laying down on the man bed.
In the man pool.
But like I said, the nation's bed, so it wasn't. I don't think it was his personal residence. That was the one. That was the country.
So he was in the country's pool.
Yeah, they went. Yeah, they were saying, "But we paying for this."
Yeah, man, we're gonna use it. Yeah, they banned him for 5 years. So it's crazy.
Yeah, so there seems to be unrest all across the world.
A real life dragon was allegedly caught in Mongolia. Why are you telling me? So the dragon up in the volcano for you?
I don't even want to watch that. Yeah. I don't even want to watch that. Every day is something, Jade. Every day is something. Now they got dragons in Mongolia. There's a video of this thing, people. Whatever the creature is, there's a.
They look very dragon-esque. I'm not saying it's a dragon. I'm just saying.
I don't even know if it's real.
It looks like what they told us a dragon would look like. Do with that information what you will.
Basically, a lizard with wings.
Yes, a lizard with wings.
Wow.
That's crazy.
What's going on in the world, Jade?
A lot, as I might say, a lot. My word, it is in shambles. I can't wait for us to get some peace. Every day we're going to news story after news story after news story. And it's just going from bad to worse to worse to...
See, the Christians will say this is really the last days, and then
it's been the last days.
And then the Antichrist can come and just cool out everything.
How much last days do we get?
No, but the Antichrist got to come and make everybody play nice.
What happened, he Fred?
Maybe he ain't ready yet.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he ain't ready yet. Maybe he ain't even born yet, who knows?
The Antichrist ain't born yet. So we're in the last days, but he ain't here. Okay.
The last days don't mean like a week, you know?
Obviously not.
Yeah, so
obviously not as in.
But yeah, you ain't got to worry, Jade. Like we are on the brink of like nuclear destruction.
Extinction.
And then somebody's supposed to come and just be like, yo, y'all can cool. And then people going to school. And then that's how we're gonna know. Okay, that's the Antichrist.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. Excited people in the studio today.
Bye. I don't know what going on.
Oh,
bye.
Oh dear. Wonder what this week gonna bring for us, bye.
Well, what's supposed to happen this week?
You know. Besides Parliament.
But that's gonna be big. We're gonna probably have some discussions on that.
Yeah.
I think people are looking forward to new appointments. People are looking forward to just getting the nation's business underway. Recognizing that is a huge part of government and government proceedings and government doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of cabinet meetings going on. They're doing what they have to do. Even so, the Prime Minister has been speaking about things that they've been doing. Oh, speaking of things that they had been doing, I, for one, have been feeling the change in the gas prices. Yeah, boy, it is.
What, it going down?
Yeah, Jade. Bye.
Thank the Lord for small mercies.
Talking
man.
about going for a drive again, it seems like we back to that place where people could decide, hey, I think Sunday afternoon you want to go for a drive.
What?
Bye.
The wind of change has blown through the Federation.
Bye. You know what's going on? I tell you, the gas was a rough one, bye.
Bye.
Wow. Gas
I
prices was a rough one, and yeah, definitely that one I could show that that's a welcome change.
That is how we have to end the
drivers.
show today.
To drivers.
On a high note with some good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
We can't know tomorrow.
Oh no, you're not. With everything after today, it's all downhill as usual.
But no, like I said, I think this weekend there's a lot of good things happening. I think again, there has not been too much negative news. I haven't heard about any lot of serious accidents, even though I know they had an accident last night or something.
Oh, actually, no, me gonna say it. We ended the day on a good note, as in good note.
So there was an accident for you? Oh boy, but guys, we gotta leave, we gotta go, we gotta disembark. Appreciate everyone who has taken the time out to come hang out with us this morning. All of you guys who met us on the weekend from Antigua.
Yes, big up on Antigua and following. Y'all were amazing, man.
Yeah, I in the supermarket, this woman just gave me some looks there. She had on a mask, so I didn't know what was happening.
Thought she was eyeing you down.
No, I didn't think that. I was like, I wonder why do she asked somebody for her. And then when I reached outside, she was like, you never let us be on the radio. I didn't think to you in Antigua, man. I was like, oh, miss, I could have swear you had it in for me. I was watching you to make sure that you ain't got like nothing in your bag to pull out of me.
No, man, Lord.
But when I watching me kind of mistake. But I realized,
admiring.
But no, what happened was that she listens on the radio, so she heard the voice.
That's usually what has happened.
She heard the voice.
That's usually did I hear speak and just you just be on the radio?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Depending on where we're going with this.
So yeah, big up to our Antiguan listeners. There have been a few who told me that they heard us on Observer and now they listen to the show. Daily, and we appreciate you. Those who those who might not be based right here in the Federation, but take time to come and listen to us. Like, trust me, we really appreciate you.
Indeed.
Really, really do appreciate you. And whether you joined us on YouTube, tune in, Win Media SK, and any of the other digital media platforms, Facebook, we appreciate it big time. If you listen to us on 98.9 FM on your radio, boop, 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 y'all real MVPs. Yes, Gunfinger Jade. And guys, we're gonna be back tomorrow. Talking about pretty much whatever we feel like.
I mean, that's how it goes here. And if y'all are a little too sensitive about what we say here, too bad. I'm not apologizing, so please.
No, but you want to just die.
Like, you're upset because I tell you need ginkgo.
we are trying to give positive
health
advice.
I take ginkgo. I think it's good for you and your memory, because sometimes we forget the past.
Oh boy!
Don't be so sensitive, man.
But my thing is,
apologize, I'm gonna let you.
But my thing is, bad at this since last week.
Yeah, that's why I said, man, I'm apologizing. So come on, be for real. Be for real. Love you. Mean it.
The problem is now I wonder if I should really recommend a hug.
I don't do that already.
He might get upset.
I don't do that.
But so you need a hug.
Yeah. You need to touch some grass or something, because I don't know how that deal.
Hugs.
That's what pisses you off. The amount of things I don't say on the show. That is what pisses you off. Come on.
Oh, but well, we appreciate all you guys who take the time to come and listen and be a part of the conversation here.
Of course.
Big up yourself one time, and of course, please remember to learn from the losses of others. We've been talking about all these things. I tell you, these things are teachable moments. Teachable moments. We have to learn. Also, guys, please remember to spend more time living your content than posting it.
I have one more thing to say.
Oh, go ahead.
It's an update. Remember last week you was telling me how terrible Behind Beach Island was?
Yes.
And then you showed me, and I was in complete and utter shock.
Yes.
I messaged our honorable Deputy Prime Minister.
Big Jeff?
Yeah, Big Jeff. And he said he already told them to go fix it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Telling you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Action.
We want to see another week and the jungle behind Beach Island.
Monkey just swinging.
How you got beach? How you got beach and a jungle at the same place?
Don't go together.
They don't go together.
No sand, just wild animals. Just wild animals.
Jade,
jaguars and tigers and monkeys.
I tell you, there's a jaguar back there, Jade. So
I
whoever.
not believe you. When you show me, I definitely see the tail.
Whoever it is, going in there, go clean. Please be careful because we don't know what man of creature you might bump up on behind you. Wow.
Don't want to. I honestly couldn't believe it.
But parks and beaches could sort out that there boom bang.
Yes, this was his words exactly. He said, "I have asked the tractor to deal with it. Thanks very much."
Awesome.
And he has sent him a voice note about it. So we will see an improvement to behind here very soon. Hopefully this week that is dealt with.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be a farmer or something. So let's get and children could get back to farming and not
and actually
and not
walk
exploring.
behind the school.
and not exploring. Next thing, one of them walk behind there, so they discover behind there.
Yeah, behaving like white people. We don't want that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, nobody else gonna be behind there, so they might actually have a better claim than say the Columbus guy.
True.
Yeah, nobody else behind there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now you have a point.
But guys, and lastly, of course, it'd be remiss of me to not remind you.
That's with this dramatic pause.
Because it's very dramatic, Jade. You can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. We're gonna see you guys tomorrow.